Hello, welcome to Bryan Living and Learning. I'm Alan Brugman from the City of Bryan.
And I'm Sandy Ferris with Bryan ISD.
Today, the City of Bryan will show you a full recap of the recent Texas Red Steak and Grape Festival held in downtown Bryan.
And we'll preview the newest I Am Bryan ISD, in which we highlight outstanding students in the district. We'll check in with 8th graders who went to the recent Brazos Valley Career Fair. But first, we'll show you how some Bryan High culinary arts students got involved with a local chamber event.
We had a prior customer contact me about a couple of weeks ago and asked if my students could work on a project for them. She used to work with the Children's Museum. She is currently now employed with the Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce. And she knew our work from what we did with the Children's Museum a couple of years ago. She asked if my students could make some sugar cookies in the Chamber of Commerce's logo. I said, let me see what the logo looks like. Maybe we can do it, maybe we can't, just depends on what it looks like. And she said, oh, it's two simple circles, it won't be a problem. I looked at it, and it was a little bit more difficult than what it detailed. It is two circles, but it is two interlocking circles similar to a chain. And so we researched, because obviously we did not have a cookie cutter that would be that shape. So we researched how to create cookie cutters on your own, and we realized that the kids and the students found out that and thought and brought forth the idea to see if the welding department could create our cookie cutter for us. Instead of us creating one, we could get a kit to make a cookie cutter, but we would not receive it in time. So that's when we went to the welding department to ask and see if they could create our cookie cutter. Once we have created the cookie cutter, we still then hand cut the inside design. They have created the outside of the design, and we then hand cut all of the insides of the design. And then now the students are icing it, and we'll package it, and it will be at a mayoral meeting on Wednesday. And when she asked us to do this project, she asked us to also provide a promo of what the Culinary Arts Department at the high school can do. And so the Marketing Dynamics class is creating a promo for us of the different projects and different things that we have done in the past and what we're doing now. And so we've collaborated with 2 different departments within Career Tech for this one job. And we thought it would be a good idea to work with other groups instead of us doing it. The kids have promoted our department in the past, but I thought it would be neat, a fun way to incorporate the other classes as well as my kids as well. This is not our first out-of-house project. We've done outside projects in the past. Like I said, we've done the Children's Museum for several years. And then we do cakes as well. We've made several cakes that go out to the public. We've done a retirement reception last year at A&M. We made the cake. We made hot appetizers as well as cold appetizers for that. And they really like that. They seem to have more pride in their job when they know it's going out to the public versus just staying in-house.
Well, Sandy, I think on past stories about the culinary program, you've told me that they're available for hire for events. They
are. We have the program at both Rudder and Bryan High School, and they do a great job. So if anyone is interested, they can call 209-1000 to ask about it.
Well, the 5th annual Texas Red Steak and Grape Festival was held in downtown Bryan on October 7th and 8th this year. And as always, it kicked off on Friday night. And with the swing of the club, the 5th annual Texas Red Steak and Grape Festival began. This year's event started the morning of Friday, October 7th at the Travis B. Bryan Municipal Golf Course. Teams came out to play a little golf in support of the Mary Crowley Cancer Research Center, an organization that will soon have a presence on the Texas A&M Health Science Center campus in Bryan. All of the net proceeds from the tournament went to benefit the center. This was the first year for the charity golf tournament as part of an effort to expand Texas Reds and to add additional attractions for participants. The entertainment had already started later that evening at the annual sponsor party in downtown's Howell Building at the Cotton Exchange. Sponsors of the Texas Reds Festival gathered for a thank you reception with food and beverage provided. This year, local entertainer Kathy Ross provided the entertainment. The sponsor party is always an important event to the Texas Reds organizers, as it gives them the opportunity to thank all the businesses and individuals who contribute money and services to make Texas Reds possible. The festival truly wouldn't happen without the support of the community and the sponsors who come together for the event. After last year's dreadfully hot temperatures during Texas Reds, organizers listened to the pleas of festival goers and changed the date from June to October. With this change, the first Friday of October was incorporated into the festival. First Friday events traditionally bring crowds of patrons to downtown Bryan, and with the additional allure of free entertainment and vendors lining the streets, more people than ever made the Friday evening a huge success. One of the biggest attractions on Friday night was the lighting of the Queen Theater. Crowds formed in front of the downtown landmark as Save the Queen organizers thanked those involved in getting the crown, lighting, and facade restored. Several businesses and individuals donated their time to restore the old theater to its historical high point, complete with a rotating crown, neon-lit signage, and glowing marquee. After the thank yous, it was time to throw the switch and reveal the changes. And with that, the Queen was reborn. The old building still has a long way to go before the restoration is complete, but getting the facade done was a huge first step. And judging by those interested in the unveiling, it was an important milestone for the community as well. The plan for the Queen is to remodel the interior and use the building as a community center. To contribute your time or money to the effort, visit downtownbryan.com and look for the Save the Queen link. Another addition of Friday's festivities were steak plates. In past years, steak plates were only available on the Saturday of the event, but in 2011, the folks from J. Cody's Barbecue were on hand to grill up the juicy steaks for anyone who wanted them. It was another nice addition to the first day of Texas Reds. One thing that stayed the same on Friday night was the presence of an entertainment headliner on the main stage at Main and 28th Streets. This year, that headliner was the Land Sharks. The Land Sharks are a Jimmy Buffett tribute band, and by the middle of their show, the band had the crowd up and out of their seats and dancing to their songs in the middle of the street. Well, that's just a look at the Friday night festivities. In just a bit, we'll follow up with the Saturday night events.
We wanted to show you our newest I Am Bryan ISD. Meet Austin Peacock, a third grader at Sam Houston Elementary.
My name is Austin Peacock. I am a third grader at Sam Houston Elementary. Last summer, I went to Pueblo, Colorado for the National Little Riches Rodeo Finals. I ended up 5th in the world in barrel racing. I started riding about 2 years ago. I practice every night in my arena. I competed on bandit and pole bending and barrel racing at the finals. When I get into 6th grade, I will join the Junior High School Rodeo Association. My name is Austin Peacock, and I am Bryan ISD.
Well, Sandy, we got to meet Austin when she came into the city council meeting and had our proclamation read in her honor.
We also met her recently at a school board meeting where she was recognized. And just to let people know, we have 2 new I Am Bryan ISD videos in the works, and we'll have those for you soon.
The cooler temperatures of October meant more people came out to Texas Reds on the Saturday of the event. Another new element of Texas Reds kicked off the festival's main day on Saturday, October 8th. This was the Texas Reds 5K, benefiting the Mary Crowley Cancer Research Center. Nearly 300 runners gathered in Sale Park around 8 a.m. to run the 5K course or walk a 3K course. And just like the golf tournament, all proceeds from the race were set to go to the Mary Crowley Centers. The runners headed south at the start down Bryan Avenue and eventually made their way onto Finfeather before looping back to the finish at the same location. Using a furious finishing kick, the overall champion was Sean Grant, just narrowly clipping Bryan Deputy City Manager Joey Dunn at the finish. The women's title was won by Christian Kaufman. By all accounts, for a first-time race, the Texas Reds 5K was a fantastic success. The race was literally only the beginning on a day full of events. The first big event was the Celebrity Grape Stomp, and before that kicked off, Mayor Jason Bianski handed out the first big prize of the day, which was the Winery Booth winner, and that award went to Cork This Winery from Montgomery. Then the real fun started. Teams made up of city staff, elected officials, and community leaders faced off in a competition to see who could get the most juice out of their grapes in a stomping contest. Despite a good effort from Mayor Bianski and County Commissioner Irma Cawley, and a spirited, costumed effort from Deputy City Manager Hugh Walker and College Station Councilmember Julie Schultz, Bryan Councilmember Chuck Conderla and Deputy City Manager Joey Dunn came away the winners. Grape stomping continued the rest of the day at the Grape Stomp stand in front of the Carnegie Library. You can't have the Texas Reds Festival without food, and there were opportunities all over the festival for folks to sample foods, learn about foods, or buy foods. The learning part came at the chef demonstrations held at the Palace Theater. The first chef demo was from Peter Madden, owner of Madden's Restaurant in downtown. Madden performed some fiery tricks to cook his beef tenderloin, then covered it in an avocado sauce for sampling. Judging by the number of attendees who returned repeatedly to sample the beef, he did a good job. Later in the afternoon, the soon-to-be celebrities, the Hairy Bikers, took the stage to cook up some beef kebabs. Bryan residents Paul Patronella and Bill Allen are currently starring on the History Channel's newest show titled The Hairy Bikers, where they cruise on their motorcycles across America, cooking as they go. Patronella is a classically trained chef, and Allen a food aficionado, and they drew the biggest chef demo crowd of the day. The amateur cooks were also in full swing at the state cook-off booths around the festival. Several of the teams battled for the coveted People's Choice Awards by handing out free samples of their creations to people who strolled by. In the end, the Showmanship Award went to Pivo Diablos, and the grand prize of Best Steak went to the Cut Loose Cookers, the third time in 5 years they've won first place. Also added this year was a North Entertainment stage, where a variety of musical acts performed throughout the day, drawing people to the north end of the festival. Vendor booths were stretched the entire length of the Texas Reds Festival footprint. In addition to traditional festival fare, such as food and drinks, there were handmade items and other various goods for attendees to browse through as they made their way through downtown. Perhaps the area that stayed the busiest during the entire festival was the wine tents. Festival attendees packed in with limited elbow room in 2 large covered tents where wineries served up samples of their finest selections. Here's a look at the sights and sounds inside the wine tents. Just as they did on Friday, the J. Cody Grillers were cooking up steaks for sale near the LaSalle Hotel Plaza. The steaks were drawing a crowd as people stood in line to pick up their fresh meal, complete with all the sides. Back to the south of the festival in the downtown 202 space, the Artist Showcase gave different kinds of artists an opportunity to display their goods. Paintings, jewelry, and pottery were just a few of the different kinds of work being displayed. And outside, metal craftsmen were drawing crowds with their loud hammering and impressive metal bending displays. As the evening drew closer and the clock struck 6, this tent became a happening place. This was the first ever tailgate tent, put on by Suddenlink, showing non-stop college football on several big screen TVs. As darkness enveloped downtown, the crowds headed to the main stage to see the opening act Midnight Express and get prime seating for the headliner, Joe Nichols. Before Nichols went on stage, he posed for photos near his bus at a quick meet and greet session and shortly made his way on stage to greet the thousands of folks who packed in as close as possible to watch his show. The $5 admission charge at the 2011 Texas Reds Festival didn't appear to dissuade any of these folks from coming out to see the country music singer do his thing. The 2011 Texas Reds Steak and Grape Festival, another big hit in downtown Bryan.
Alan, with this being a gated event this year, do you have any idea how many people attended?
Well, so far that's been a popular question, but at this point we don't have a number. The Parks and Rec folks are busy counting up receipts and money from various aspects of the festival, so hopefully we'll have a number soon.
Well, our 8th graders in the district got a chance to investigate potential careers recently as they attended the Brazos Valley Career Fair.
So today we're out at the Brazos Valley Expo Center, and we have schools from across the Brazos Valley. Schools travel in, and we have local businesses. We have 73 businesses and a variety of different career clusters. Our state now has all of our electives divided into career clusters, and so we choose different businesses from those career clusters to try and give our students an idea of what potential careers could be for them. They talk to the different businesses about what kind of education they have, what type of salary they may make, what types of positions are available, how they went about getting their jobs, just to kind of get a general feel of what different businesses have to offer. And all of our local businesses, you can see from looking around, they have a lot of their equipment out, their tools. We have a lot of our police cars out here, as well as video equipment. We have some maintenance equipment out here so that students can see, touch, and really get to know what those careers are about. We have a lot of businesses out here, 73, and we are so thankful to have them participating this year. This is set up so that students kind of get an introductory view of what our different careers are about. In November, December, January, both Luann Argersinger and myself, we go over to the different middle schools with career and technology. We have a program called Career Cruising, and we do an interest inventory as well as a learning styles inventory with our students. And then they get to find out what careers match up to their interests, and then they get to learn a little bit more about the careers. From that point, we help students choose classes, and we develop a 4-year plan for them, which will follow them throughout high school. And a lot of those plans lead up to certifications, dual credit for students. So there's a lot of great opportunities by starting out in the 8th grade.
Well, that's all the time we have today. I'm Sandy Ferris.
And I'm Ellen Brugman. Thanks for watching.